May I have a seat?
Okay, sure. Hi, Vivan.
Hi, good afternoon.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Vivan Deora. I'm currently studying in grade 12 under the ICSE curriculum in Jamnabai Narsee School. My current subjects are mathematics, economics, accounts, computer science, and English language and literature. My interest entirely lies in mainly lies in economics, which I have studied since the ninth grade, and have developed a long interest for it since the past 4 years. Um, I also love recreational activities. I'm a basketball player for my school team. I've been playing the sport since 10 years now, and I'm also involved in tennis as an extracurricular activity since the past 3 years. I also enjoy playing video games sometimes in my recreational times on my PS5 console. And I was a part of my school's business and finance club, where we engaged in interactive discussions regarding global issues and investment stock market strategies, etc. And I was a major member of our inter-school fest, which is Cascade, which is India's largest inter-school event. I was in the finance team for it.
Tell me something about your family.
My dad runs an export business of electronics. He's mainly involved in international trade.
Which country does he export to?
It's mainly related to the UAE and sometimes to the Hong Kong and United States of America as well, mainly Miami. And my mother is a housewife. My brother is currently studying in University of Toronto in his third year.
So, what is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics?
Microeconomics basically studies economics at the unit level, which is studying individual firms, households, etc. While macroeconomics studies the economics as a whole, like examples being national income and the interaction of the economy outside the country as a whole, basically.
And what is your primary interest? Is it microeconomics?
Microeconomics.
Great. You have mentioned that you want to study behavioral economics.
Sorry?
Behavioral economics
Yes.
you want to study at IIM Bangalore.
Yes.
Right? So, can you tell me how did you come to know about behavioral economics and what part of it is fascinating for you?
We haven't come across behavioral economics as yet as part of our curriculum, but I've always been fascinated by how decisions are made by firms and government, like individual decisions made by the firms and government. Behavioral economics basically, in that way, studies how certain firms or the consumers react to price changes, etc., demand and supply. Mainly that part of it.
So, okay. So, Vivan, you have studied India's 1991 economic forums reforms, right?
Yes.
So, can you tell me how did it impact in the long term?
The 1991 model was it was the LPG model, which was the liberalization, privatization, and globalization module. And the liberalization policy in it basically went with the delicensing policy, which means the firms did not need any bureaucratic interventions um, in their work of area, which did not delay its procedures in the long run. And globalization allowed the firms to interact globally with other countries, which are to integrate them with their economy as well, and having trades with them, etc.
What is HDI?
HDI is the Human Development Index.
What is India's current HDI rank?
It ranks in the scale of medium. I cannot answer the exact rank of India, but I know that it lies in the medium range.
Okay. And what about China? Since you had compared
China-
India to UK and China.
Yeah, China lies in the high category and UK lies in the very high category. It is based on a 10-point scale involving health, education, etc. And that's why it's considered more accurate than the per capita income, which
So, what do you think, according to you, whether GDP or the HDI is better for measuring the development of?
for measuring the development, I think the HDI is more accurate because per capita income and GDP, they only measure the income of the country irrespective of the person being employed or not. They also include children and unemployed people. Suppose the per capita income, it means the total income divided by the population of the country, which also includes the unemployed people as well. But HDI also includes factors such as life expectancy, education, birth rate, etc., which gives a more accurate description about the same fact.
Have you heard about GNH?
GNH.
Gross National Happiness?
The happiness index.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, yeah.
So, what should we consider, HDI or GNH?
I'm sorry, I do not have the idea about GNH, but I feel HDI is quite accurate.
What is India's per capita income currently in dollar terms? Approximate idea is also no problem. What is inflation?
Inflation typically measures the growth rate of the relative prices in a country over a certain period of time. It's not a short term thing, but over a period of 2-3 years, the rise in prices of a normal basket of goods and services in a country. It's a persistent and consistent rise, not breaking in between, falling down and rising again.
So when we say the current inflation in India is 4%,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
It means that there's a moderate increase in the prices of the country, and it is good for the country right now. But a larger inflation rate would mean higher prices for the consumers, which will be difficult for them as compared to their income. So we call this creeping inflation. About 2 to 3% or 4% is also a normal rate for inflation and is regarded good for the economy.
What is stagflation?
Sorry,
Stagflation.
stagflation means the economy is growing at a stagnant rate.
Fair enough.
You mentioned that some around 2 to 3% inflation is, but there are Gulf nations where you see that inflation is almost negligible, less than 1%. So, is that by, I mean, they do it purposely or how it is?
Um, it is not on purpose exactly, but because the Gulf nations have they have their major oil and crude business, which they go globally trade with, and there's never a case where their demand is low. It is always required in as a raw material in any kind of industry. So that's the case.
Have you been following the current the US tariff war against multiple countries,
Yes,
even
yes,
including
the
India?
USA and with the BRICS nations. Yeah.
So what is your current understanding of, let's say, the US tariffs on India?
US is basically having a tariff war with the major BRICS nations right now because they are moving towards de-dollarization, and this will have a heavy impact on USA, of course, because their power globally would reduce because BRICS nations are also globally involved everywhere, and imposing tariffs on India will lead to them losing the industries in USA will it will be more expensive for them to import raw materials from India, which are needed by the domestic industries.
So when USA imposes tariffs, let's say on electronic goods,
Okay.
since your dad
Yeah.
exports some goods to USA, right? What is the impact on the electronic pricing in USA
In USA,
on India when the tariffs are imposed on Indian goods?
the consumers will find it difficult to, no, as in the industries, the competition for them will obviously reduce because foreign goods coming from India, they will be charged high, at a higher rate, so they won't be demanded by the consumers. And as a consequence of this, they will rise their prices because the competition is low, and the consumers in USA will have to face higher prices because of this.
So then why does the US president do that?
To protect the domestic industries in the country, because to reduce the competition for them so that they can also thrive in such an environment. And the impact on India will be that the domestic industries will not be able to export much of their goods because they will be charged higher in the USA.
Do you want to be an economist when you grow up?
Yeah, I would majorly consider that.
Okay.
Economist or econometrician? Okay. Do you know the difference between what does economist do and what does an econometrician do?
Econometrician would basically, I don't have a fair idea about that, but an economist.
Because you have mentioned, you are keen on studying econometrics. So,
Yeah, because it is a major subject in the it is using mathematical and statistic info to um, describe the trends in the economy and analyzing the graphs of the growth of.
okay. Do you think that any economic problem can be solved without using data science?
It can be, but data science can always act as a data science, according to me, will complement economics because it can be used to extract data, creating certain graphs using SQL, Python, Java, etc. It will complement economics in a way. It is not necessary, but it will obviously lead to a better understanding of the subject.
You use AI for your daily studies or in other parts of your daily life?
Yes, I regularly do so because it it also has its own negative impacts, but I feel
So why do you do?
uh,
And how do you do it? I'm just curious to know how do students use AI these days?
these days, whenever a project comes up, suppose a school project, you tend to use AI to understand what the topic means to you. How do you analyze it? How do you graphically assume? Because um, readily finding such data on search engines has become a little difficult because AI acts as a easier mode of access these days. And whenever you come up with a random doubt or something, I, personally, I'm a very inquisitive person. So something strikes me, I'll obviously go to AI. I'll check what does this exactly mean. I need to know about it.
So do you directly use AI generated answers and in your projects to school, or then you use it only as a
You have
starting point?
you can use your own answers and use AI to refine them a little bit. According to me, that's the best case scenario.
And how do your teachers react to students using AI? Are they happy about it or are they frustrated about it?
A little frustrated, I would say, but since now it is the coming of a new age, even it is difficult to stop the students at this point that you cannot use AI totally because most of the students are entirely reliant on it sometimes. And yeah.
Are you aware that government has increased the tax on cigarettes?
Yeah, the new budget.
What do you think? What will be the effect of that?
The effect of on that will be reduction in the sales of cigarettes, not by a greater margin because people who have a habit of it will obviously tend to spend majority of their income on cigarettes because it is an addiction in one case and
Do you
very.
remember a term called Giffen Goods?
Yes, I do.
What are Giffen Goods?
Giffen goods are those goods which the quantity demanded for them will not change with a change in price.
So is cigarette an example of Giffen Good?
I would say not entirely, but the people who are on a daily basis who are smokers, they will tend to buy it even at a slightly higher price as well.
So is cigarette a Giffen Good? Yes or no?
What are given goods? Let's define that first.
Giffen goods are those goods which the quantity demanded won't change with a change in price.
Can you give me a few examples?
Um, suppose a person they are basically inferior goods, which I'm not able to get a fair idea about that right now.
Fairly correct your answer. Okay. Why I am Bangalore?
Uh, I am Bangalore because it focuses on the analytical rigor and its interdisciplinary approach, first of all, and the emphasis on quantitative and analytical thinking. It clearly aligns with how I want to study economics, which is not just at the surface level, but delve deep into the subject and know more about it. And the academic environment, which will be at IIM Bangalore, which is a collaborative and interdisciplinary approach, I feel like it is an environment which I can thrive in and I will strive to.
Has Indians ever won Nobel Prizes in economics?
I'm not sure about that.
Have you heard name of Amartya Sen?
Yeah, I have.
Who was he? Who is he?
I have just heard the name.
Nope.
Acha.
I don't have a fair idea.
You wish to pursue MBA or any other management degree after your undergraduate?
Uh, I do not have a clear plan as to I want to do an MBA, but it may be a role which I will go towards in the future.
But then sometime back you said that you want to become an economist.
Yeah,
So don't you think you should? I mean, you want to pursue maybe a master's or maybe PhD in economics?
I may. I don't have a. I haven't have made a fair decision yet as to how I will go about it.
So tell me about your experience in sports. You said you have been pursuing sports
Yeah,
since a
I
long time.
had joined basketball in the second or third grade in Vibgyor High School, and over the years I've taken part in several competitions, several inter-school competition, district level, and majorly the junior NBA, which gave me exposure to how the basketball system works And
Can you tell me about the junior MBA program?
so NBA is the National Basketball Association, which works in the United States of America, and Junior NBA is a sub head of it, where they take in kids till under 16, and they hold competitions across the country.
So you are a part of that program.
Yeah, I represented my school in it. So different school
Play at the state level or the national level?
No.
Fair. You have any questions for us?
Not.
Yeah. You like to share your feedback?
Yeah.
So we will let us share our feedback with you. So I will give in my inputs, Jaimin sir, wherever you want to give in. So you tell me about yourself, answer. You have done quite a lot of things. Fairly impressive list of accomplishments. I would say you just need to structure it well. So you spoke about your academics. Maybe you could have bundled your sports together and then your other activities. Your answers, your SOP and academic interest answers have far more information. Couple of things you did not mention in the answer, right? So I would say maybe we'll have to have a list of the order of importance in which you're going to narrate your achievements, right? So that is one important thing. Um, Coming to see, there are certain things you have written in your academic interest statement, right? Which the panelist will have even in the actual interview. So these things you have to be very well aware of. So for example, you have mentioned here UK, China, HDI, per capita income and GDP. So I would suggest that before your interview, know in depth about these points, because I am going to pick up my questions as a panelist from what you have already submitted to me, right? So I would expect you to know a little more about HDI, per capita income, and other things that you have mentioned, right? So like I think Jamin sir asked you about economic metrics, right? This is a term from your own statement, right? So I would suggest that since you're already using AI, generate a few questions. Correct. Obviously, we have given you our list of questions already as your part of prep, but generate a few questions from the terms you have used in your answers, right? So the keywords that you have used, you should be able to do it well. Your answers in economics were fairly okay. Right, Giffen Goods, your answer was right, but maybe at the probing level, when I asked you about the cigarettes, that was a trick question. So there you could have done a little better. Your reactions are very good. You accepted that I don't know things, which is very good. You tried building logic, which was also very impressive. You look to be calm and composed. So all these things are big positives, but I would say you'll have to spend more time going through the stuff that you've already mentioned in your answers. That is the key point from my side. You look to be a very sincere student. I think as a professor, anybody would like to have you
Thank you so much.
in their class, because you look to be curious to learn, and you have done a lot of things, right? So maybe 20-30 hours of hardcore academic prep and maybe 2 or 3 more mock interviews, I think should stand you in good stead after this.
Thank you so
You'll be
much.
more comfortable, to give the interview. Yeah. My first feedback was that, I mean, I played a shadowed part in the interview. Hemang sir was asking more of the question, and your eye contact was with only Hemang sir. So when you are answering, if I am asking a question, your eye contact should be with both the panelists, maybe 60-70% to the one who has asked the question, and 30-40% to someone. You should have a constant eye contact. Okay, that is my first feedback. Second, as Hemang sir mentioned, that whatever you have written, see, I was asking you question from your SOP. I took India's economic growth, UK, China. Then, India's 1991 economic reforms, right? So everything econometrics, right? Everything was related to that. HDI, everything was the HDI rank. Okay, where does it stand? That GNH, then there is another term which is MDI. Okay, so you need to know how much percentage, what is that rank of India and everything, and if possible, the rank and the relative position of the neighboring countries. Okay, especially you mentioned UK, China, maybe Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Bangladesh, because this has been in talk over last couple of years. So if you are aware about it, it's always better. Okay, so it's like I mean, it's not must know, but it is good to know, like the ranking and everything about your neighboring countries. Okay. Yeah, I asked you a question about the 1991 reforms. Which reform had the biggest impact? I think you missed that part. So there were two questions, and I think you missed
It
that
was
part.
okay.
The biggest impact, you missed it. So need to, and I noticed it twice that before I could complete my question, you started your answer. So maybe you anticipated that this is the question and you started answering it. Okay, so let the panelist complete the question so that you can frame it properly that this is how I'm supposed to answer. Yeah.
And I would say the only one major goof up I found was when I asked you, do you want to be an economist? You said yes. And then later,
MBA wala, you said that you want to consider. Yeah.
so that was a contradiction which you need to resolve before your final actual interview. It's very okay to say that I have not made up my mind, but these are the 2-3 paths that I would like to explore. Correct. Because IIM Bangalore also has a very popular MBA program. So that was a question to you. Correct. So because you said I want to be an economist, and hence I asked you who are the Indians who have won the Nobel Prize in economics and the related areas. Okay. So if you want to be an economist, say so. If you're not sure, say that these are the 2-3 parts I'm exploring. You're too young to have a definite path as of now. So that's okay if you say what you mentioned later, that I will be exploring these parts later. You can always say yes, I'm definitely going to do my masters or post grad. You need not fixate on one particular part going ahead, because you're also doing a minors in data science at IIM Bangalore, right? So multiple paths will open up in the future.
Also try to, not always, but whenever there's a question based on some example or something, the question, try to relate it with economics. Some, for example, sir mentioned about Giffen Goods. So that should come from you.
Yes.
Okay. There was a discussion which was happening around inelastic demand.
Yeah.
Right. So you could, the moment you mention that economic term, it sounds that, you are using the technical term and you can relate with what you have studied. Otherwise, your interview was, I would say, a fairly decent one. I think it went smooth, considering being a first interview, it went very smooth.
Just a little bit work on content.
Yeah.
And a little more smile. Right now, what you're doing is the perfect.
This is perfect. Yeah, you were very nervous while you were in the interview.
You have any questions for us?
No.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
We
so
wish
much.
you all the best.
All the
for
best.
the interview.
Yeah.
Do well.